We got to give the people what they want, Donnie. Are you ready for this?
I was born ready, Joe. Let's knock out all the remaining presidents in one video. Make this a grand finale of sorts. All 17 remaining presidents will be ranked. We'll just go through them all in one go. Kind of like the way I knock out a box of Krispy Kreme donuts all in one go. Let's do this shit, Joey.
Should we invite everyone else like last time?
That would make sense. We can end it in a big way, you know. It'll be doper than heroin. Not that heroin is dope, it's just that dope is street slang for, just forget about it. Never mind, you all weren't raised in the cold New York streets like Big Donnie, so you wouldn't understand.
Just try me, Donald. I always keep that Glock Extendo piss mag with the silencer on me at all times. In other words, I always keep that mother-loving thing on me. Let's pop some hose. All right, fellas, are you ready for this? We are literally going to rank the rest of the presidents on this list. We have 17 presidents left to organize, and I think the folks at home will enjoy it as much as I enjoy watching The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
What's a game sphere?
Only the most sophisticated gaming experience ever created by humans, and it's spherical. Spherical!
Joe, you freaking moron. That was Drake and Josh, not the Fresh Prince.
What are you talking about?
Joe, did you think you were watching The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air the entire time?
Well, yeah, I've been watching The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I even learned Carlton's favorite catchphrase. You know how he always says bazinga?
Oh, Jesus Christ, Joe.
Joe, what the hell are you smoking? Bazinga isn't a catchphrase for Drake and Josh or for The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It's a different show entirely.
You guys are just yanking my chain. I think I would know about Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. After all, my favorite character in that show is Squidward, always getting annoyed by Will and SpongeBob. Shit's hilarious.
I'm going to get us started before I have a brain aneurysm. Next on the list is Calvin Coolidge. I think he goes to the very top of B tier. You could make arguments for A tier, but despite the good he did, such as growing the economy by cutting taxes, he looks like a substitute teacher. And I've had nothing but bad experiences with substitute teachers, so it throws me off. B tier is fair, though. Fun fact, there's a story about Coolidge. One night he was at a dinner party at the White House. You've got to understand that President Coolidge's nickname was Silent Cal. So anyway, a reporter went up to him and said, "Mr. President, I bet I can make you say 3 words by the end of the night." And Mr. Coolidge responded with this quote, "You lose, dear, kind of base, not gonna lie."
That is pretty funny. Good to know we had a substitute teacher with a sense of humor. Anyways, the next president is Herbert Hoover. Unfortunately, he didn't invent the Hoover vacuum, which loses him points. He also had the unenviable task of guiding the country through the Great Depression, a task that he didn't perform very well at all. I give him D tier. I would put him in F tier, but I think his name is really funny to say, Hoover, Herbert Hoover. That's funny, L-O-L-D tier.
You sounded like a dying sheep there for a bit, George.
Oh, shut up, Bill. At least I don't have certain types of relations with sheep.
You got me there, George.
What?
I was just saying how FDR is up next, and I put him into A tier. I think he guided the country through World War II admirably, and I was a fan of a lot of his policies. He's the only president to ever serve more than 2 terms. I mean, the guy was on his 4th term when he finally died. However, while many people would put FDR into S tier if given the chance, I do have to demote him to A tier because of the way he treated Japanese Americans. He put them into camps out of fear for what they would do, even though they were all citizens of the United States. It's a dark mark on his resume, and I don't want to understate that, but he did pretty good with everything else, so I think A tier is fair.
Anyone else still hung up on the sheep stuff?
Oh, of course, you of all people would be focusing on the degeneracy, Creepy Joe.
Don't you have some classified documents to show around for clout, you narcissistic fuck?
I'm going to reel in this conversation before it becomes a confrontation. Pitter-patter bitches. I'm going to give you the 2-for-1 Obama special. Harry S. Truman was a bit of a prick, but he was an effective president. He ended World War II by dropping a couple of you-know-what's-on Japan and then helped form the United Nations. I give him B tier, still a prick. And I give the next president, Dwight D. Eisenhower, an A tier ranking. The last 2 American states were admitted to the Union during Eisenhower's presidency, and he appointed 5 justices to the Supreme Court, including Earl Warren as Chief Justice in 1953. One of the greatest accomplishments of the Eisenhower administration was the creation of an interstate highway system. Eisenhower also created the Department of Health, Education, and Welfare. Today it's known as the Department of Health and Human Services and the Department of Education.
I want to get on this 2-for-1 special. Barack John F. Kennedy goes into B tier. I think it's tragic that President Kennedy was assassinated at such a young age. He was the youngest ever elected president and the first Catholic president before, of course, yours truly. And I think he is romanticized a bit because of that tragic day in Dallas. But his handling of the Cuban Missile Crisis was superb. And he seemed like he genuinely cared about the well-being of others. He was big into civil rights, but he unfortunately was killed before he could sign the Civil Rights Act into law. This would be handled by Lyndon B. Johnson, who I put into C tier because he gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Gosh, what a shame. As many conspiracies as there are when it comes to JFK, I fully believe that it was Lee Harvey Oswald that killed the president that day in Dallas. The only question that really needs answering is if he was acting alone. I will admit that's one part that I could never decide 100% for myself. Like I said, Oswald killed Kennedy, no denying that. But did anyone help him? Did anyone put this thought into his head? I honestly have no clue anyway. Who wants to do the quadruple D tier? We all discussed it, so who wants to do it?
I got this. George Nixon did some good things like form the EPA, but the Watergate scandal really fucked up his legacy. I don't even think that's the worst thing he did, honestly. But it's what people remember. And it was underhanded. D tier for Nixon. Gerald Ford pardoned Nixon and showed the American public that the president was above the law. Stupid decision, D tier. Jimmy Carter is a nice guy and a genuinely good human being, but he was a very ineffective president, D tier. And Ronald Reagan, oh God, Ronald fucking Reagan, the crack epidemic, ignoring the AIDS crisis, starting the bullshit war on drugs, which, by the way, the drugs won if you were curious. Banning machine guns, Reaganomics, the list goes on and on. D tier, wow, 4 terrible presidents in a row. How about that?
Hey, look on the bright side, everyone afterward is straight up S tier, from George's father all the way up to Sleepy Joe. We are all pimps and we all deserve S tier.
Hell yeah, Bill, you said it, homie. We are all the greatest studs in America. All of you come to the White House. We are going to party hardy and drink so much Nesquik chalky milk that I might even go crazy and stay up until 8:30 p.m. How crazy is that?
Sounds like a plan, Joe. See all you pimps at the White House? Obama and the gang are out of here. I'm going to leave this list up so that anyone can see it. I'm sure no one will hop into the Discord call and change it. Why would they? After all, it's the perfect list. Peace out, Chads.
Are all those idiots gone, Walter?
Yeah, they're gone, Ben. We can go ahead and fix this list.
Agreed. Those idiots are smoking on the finest kush in all the lands if they think they're all S tier. I mean, really? Do they really think they're on the same level as Washington and Lincoln? Idiots like for real. As much as I love Daddy Donald, he's not an S tier president.
He really isn't. None of those clowns are. Let me break it down for you, Heisenberg style. George H. Walker Bush goes into D tier along with his son, and neither were that great. George W. Bush passed the Patriot Act. Enough said with that alone.
Good picks, George. Obama and Bill can both go to the bottom of C tier. They were just passable, and I mean just barely. Bill is a freak, but the economy was good. And Obama tried his hardest to get people health care, a noble act that really wasn't facilitated that well. So I'll put both of them in C tier. As for Big Daddy Donald and Sleepy Joe, both can go into D tier. Both are old-ass men that shouldn't have ever been president. Both of them are incapable of producing trust in the government, but they aren't as bad as Woodrow Wilson, so they both get D tier.
Nice, Ben. Very based indeed.
Thanks, Walter. Abigail, my sister, thinks I'm extremely based as well, due to my ability to use facts and logic. Gosh, whenever a hardcore fact is said, you already know I got that stiffy on me.
All right, Ben, take it easy. I have to go now. My partner Jesse and I are about to pull off this train heist with some guy named Todd. He seems okay. I mean, the only thing that could ruin this whole thing is if some kid were to roll up on a dirt bike or something, but the odds of that are astronomical, so I'm sure it'll go well. Go ahead and do the outro, Ben. Heisenberg is taking his leave because I am indeed the one who knocks. Peace out, Chads.
Thank you all for watching the conclusion of the presidential tier list. Remember, we all have biases, and we all have our own opinions. I'm sure our list is not a definitive one, and I'm sure a lot of you will have differing opinions, and that's perfectly okay. Go ahead and post your rankings of the presidents in the comments below. Stay awesome, everyone. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. Oh, and for the love of God, if anyone sees a sweet, succulent fact, please let me know. I love facts almost as much as I love Big Donnie. So long for now, everyone. Big Benny is out of here cruising down the street in my 6'4", jocking them bitches, slapping them hoes.